Welcome to another round of virtual office hours. Super excited to be here today. I have some fun things saved up that I've been wanting to talk about, so I thought it'd be fun to dive into that today. And let's do it. So first of all, I wanted to talk about, hang on, I'm going to pull up my own thing here. I wanted to talk about something that I see often on Facebook posts when somebody is looking for some sort of service provider, a Facebook ads person, a virtual assistant, photographer, you get it. And what they will say is, I'm looking for a reasonably priced XYZ. I wanted to talk about that statement because I think it does a lot of disservice all around the board on that one. First of all, when you are the person asking for this reasonably priced service, well, what does that mean, right? Because reasonable is relative. For some person, reasonable might be $100. For someone, it might be 1,000, and for another, it might be 10,000. So I think it's really important to clarify what it is that you mean and really say what you mean. And in fact, that's something you're going to hear me talk a lot about in the group. And when I'm talking to y'all, is say what you mean. And so when you are asking for something reasonably priced, do something like give a price frame or a price range so that people know what you're working with. The other thing is that can come off as really insulting to people who are providing these services because it sounds like you're attaching a value to something that maybe you're not really valuing. And so the person who's giving that service is probably going to feel that, like, what does that mean when you say a reasonably priced photographer, right? My price is my price, my value is my value. So again, you might be inadvertently undervaluing or devaluing somebody, and that is not a great way to start a relationship. Not only that, it really does give off this energy or this vibe of lack, of scarcity, of undervaluing and kind of undercutting or lowballing somebody. So all in all, it really is a vibe that I don't think you want to be putting out there and is not really giving good business karma all around. So again, I do come back to, if you are on a budget, it might even be better to say, hey, I'm a new entrepreneur, I'm on a tight budget. Who do you know who does photography at a really budget-friendly price for people just starting out? Again, it really honors where you're at and really owns it and claims it. It also says what you mean. You are asking for what you want. Somebody who is a budget-friendly photographer, people that are just starting out. So when you think about saying that, before you say it, I really do challenge you to say what you mean and don't undervalue other people, and don't also, put yourself in that low energy vibe of somebody who's, begging. That's kind of what it feels like. It feels like you're begging, and it also feels like you're putting other people down. So we want to make sure to avoid that. That is my thoughts on that. I would love to hear what you think and what you have to say when you are asking for recommendations and you're also on a tight budget. So the next thing that I want to talk about is the truth about hiring marketing experts within the first few years of your business. I just want to look real quick before I dive into that, is I want to make sure I'm not missing any comments. As you know, Facebook is playing with their live platform, and so things are not always where they used to be. And I hope I'm not missing any comments. Okay, so yes, the next thing I want to talk about is the truth about hiring marketing experts or advertising experts in the first few years of your business, especially I'm talking to those who have service-based businesses. So again, I'm talking to those who are the photographers, the personal trainers, the copywriters, the graphic designers, the therapists, the coaches. If you have a business that is service-based, you generally don't need marketing and advertising in your first few years of business. And the reason I say that is that often when you are just starting out, you don't fully understand your market or your value proposition, right? Your value proposition is sort of the how you are different and how you solve problems differently than the next person, So you don't necessarily are understanding your market, your value proposition. You probably don't even have your offerings really nailed down yet, your price point. even your branding might still be a work in progress. And so when we invest a ton of money in things like marketing or even copywriting, although I do think that getting good copywriting is really important early on, when you're spending that money, if you don't yet understand your market and how to connect to them, how to talk to them, you are essentially going to waste your money. Here's the thing. I talk to many people all day long who talk about hiring somebody in marketing, and really what they're trying to do is they're trying to give the responsibility for sales to somebody else. There is this belief that I can pay somebody who will do my marketing and that'll bring me business. But again, if you are not doing sales well, if you don't have a good sales process that you're confident in, if you don't know how to get somebody from a phone call to being a client, marketing's not going to help you, because you're still in the end going to have to sell that person. If you are thinking, well, I'm just not going to do sales, I'm going to put them into online sales funnels and they can do it all through automation and emails, here's the thing. You still have to have a sales process, because you have to translate that process into something that is virtual, whether it's through emails or videos or webinars or whatever. You still need to know how to sell to your client, and you need to know what your client needs to hear in order for them to move through your sales process. So rather than spending a ton of money on marketing in your first 1 to 2 years, maybe 3 years, one of the things I really recommend that you do instead is that you start to get out and you start to network. And that could be in real life or online. You start to do some public speaking, you start to create some content, and you get an idea for what is resonating with your market, what the real problems are, what are the things that you're doing or saying that are making them want to engage with you. And I also really recommend that you practice sales. And if you're not good at sales yet, that's okay. Most people start a business with zero sales experience. I'm talking like 95% of people start a business without sales experience. And you guys, getting good at sales takes years. Now, you all know I love talking about sales, specifically attraction sales. And I'm going to do what I always do, which is tell you that if you haven't gone and watched my 7 mind-blowing reasons your business isn't growing and what the heck you can do about it webinar, go and do that, because I talk about some attraction sales strategies, and I even give you my 30-minute sales-free sales call template. You need to get good at sales. You need to really, truly understand your market, their problems, how you solve them better or different than anyone else. And then when you have a really clear understanding of your client, your perfect client, and how they move through your sales process, then you can look at doing some marketing. You guys, paying marketers is not a replacement for understanding your market and selling to them. All that they do is they create strategies or advertisements to get people to notice you, but you still have to say the right thing, and you still absolutely have to be able to take them through the sales journey to the point from them being a stranger to curious to consuming your content to then spending money with you. So it's going to bring us into our next question, which is what is my market and why do I need to know it? So your market is the people who buy your stuff. All right. Your market is the people who hire you. All right. We sometimes call those ideal clients, target markets. I call them your perfect potential clients, your PPCs, right? Some people might call it your avatar. It really is the people who you want to work with day in and day out, the people whose lives you are excited to change in whatever way that you change them. Now, why you need to know them is because it's sort of like if you were going to be a gardener and you had no idea what different flowers were called, or whether they were indoor or outdoor plants, or they needed a lot of sunlight and a lot of water or very little. You need to understand the different plants that are in your garden and their requirements. It's the same thing with your market, friends. You need to know them inside and out. What are their problems? What are their desires? What turns them on? What turns them off? And what are the things that you say that they know, oh my gosh, this person gets me. I want whatever they've got. You need to learn that. And the first 1 to 2 years, 3 years, again, sometimes it's more like 3 years, is truly, truly understanding your market. Do not skip that step. I watch so many people jump into online businesses before they know their market. And I'm going to tell you right now, there's nothing wrong with that. You go ahead and do whatever you want that feels right and feels exciting for your business. But understand that if you don't understand your market, when you are online, it's going to be a way way slower and more expensive build because you're having to figure that out while you're also investing time and money into digital marketing and online marketing. Okay, so when it comes to knowing your market, really what I want you to think about is, first of all, start with you. Who do you want to work with? What are you called to do? In what way do you want to change lives? And then really think about, who are those people? Where are they? What are their frustrations? What are their pain points? What are their needs? And also, what are their desires? What do they want? All right. And then as you begin to think about how you serve that, try, as I say, this is where copywriting comes in. And by the way, copywriting is on your copy, on your website, on your social, but it even works in the things that you say, right? It's whole words. So what are the things that you're saying or writing that people are connecting with? And remember that as you go from idea to first year, second year, third year, your business is going to evolve. Your niche is going to evolve. Believe me when I say your niche is going to refine and refine and refine and refine, so that by year 3, your niche, your business, your marketing message, everything is going to look so different than where you were at year 2, year 1, and idea. That's the nature of business. This is also why I stress not to put so much pressure on yourself to have all the answers, to know it all, and to be at a certain level before it's realistic, because it takes time to really understand your market, your value in it, and then how to connect with your PPCs and then sell to them. All right, so yes, very, very important to know your market inside and out. All right, next question is, I'm doing all the programs, reading the books, hiring the coaches. Why aren't I growing? What am I not getting? Okay, so this is something, I'm not even gonna lie, it breaks my heart. There is a reason that most businesses fail, okay, in those first 5 years, or less. And, we've had the Rad Connectors community now for 2 years. I've been really focused on helping the first-time service-based entrepreneur for about 6, almost 7 years now. And so I've had enough time to see the people in my networks, in my community, struggle and struggle and struggle and struggle and struggle, and then finally give up and go back and get a job. And the reason is, y'all are not learning how to build a business fast enough. All right. It's a very real thing. We start a business with this idea and we think, I'm just going to build this website and I'm going to post on social media and I'm going to go to networking events and bam, it's going to be perfect. People are going to fly to me, build it and they will come. That mentality, it doesn't work. All right. Y'all know the build it and they will come, right? That comes from a Field of Dreams, right? And the build it and they will come concept only works when you're trying to get the ghost of your dad and his baseball friends to come play baseball with you in your backyard. It's not a way to build a business. Which brings us back to our earlier question about knowing your market. You really need to know your market, but you also have to get out there in the real world and get into action and start, really playing. Yes, strategically and with a system, getting people on phone calls with you, taking them through your sales calls, working with them, doing events, going to events, getting online, getting in real life, all these things that you're doing. I want to say it's not that it's the wrong thing, but the problem is it often is the wrong thing. So some of the activities are correct, but what you're missing is like a strategy, really thinking about, who is my PPC, where are they, how do I find them, and then a system, a way to then, once they're in front of you, bring them into your sales pipeline. And again, a sales pipeline is not just online, it's in real life too. Remember friends, and I've said this to some of you before, businesses have been making sales long before the internet existed, okay? Sales pipelines and sales funnels, it's not just for the online world, all right? And I think that there's a real fallacy out there about, if I do it online, it's faster, it's quicker, it's cheaper, it's easier, and it's really, really, really not. It's the same online as it is in real life. It takes knowing your marketing, it takes doing enough of the right things. And where I find most people are failing is that they are not learning quick enough. They're not understanding quick enough what's not working and then tweaking and pivoting in their business. The tweak and pivot is the biggest factor in how fast you grow or how fast you fail. So Another thing I want to add to that, actually, there's so many things I want to talk about on this. Another thing I want to add to that, I think one of the biggest reasons people fail is they leave their jobs too soon. They start to get a modicum of traction in their business and they think, aha, that's proof. And I'm going to go now forever. It's going to be at this level for the next 30 years. You have to remember that when you are looking, this is a good sort of calculation to have in your head. A lot of people will have a really, really, really good month, and then they will think that's going to be my business moving forward. But really what you have to do is you have to look at the average of your smallest 3 months. So whatever the average of your least earning revenue 3 months are, that's more likely what you're going to be able to expect for the next year. Okay. So if you have a great month, amazing. Kudos to you. Go buy yourself a new outfit, invest some of that money back into your business with courses or programs or that new logo you wanted or that new software to help you do webinars. You spend that money wisely, but don't think it's enough to quit your job. Most people are not in a position to leave their jobs for at least 5 years after starting a business. And that's at least. Most people, it's closer to 7, sometimes 8, sometimes 10, again, depending on how fast you grow and how fast you're learning. I was listening to a great podcast with Marie Forleo because, of course, she just launched her B-School program. And she talked about how it took her, was it 7 years to finally go full-time into her own program, her own school, her own business. 7 years it took her because she was still doing all these other side hustle things to support her while her business grew. I think it's really important to understand that, because if you leave your job too soon, you're not going to have money to pay your bills, your rent, your food, whatever, but you're also not going to have that money that you're going to need to put back into your business to pay for the networking events you want to go to, or the software or programs that you need to build your business, or the equipment you need. So tweaking and pivoting, I would say, is the number one reason people fail, is they are not learning fast enough and they're not tweaking and pivoting in their business fast enough. Number two, they leave their jobs way too soon and then everything crumbles and falls apart because they have no money to not only sustain themselves, but to invest in necessary business expenses until their business is really, really growing with ease. You guys, you want to be growing with ease. You want customers to come easy to you, okay? And growing consistently. So yes, so I'm going to go back to this question, you guys. That was a long-winded answer. But yes, you're doing all the programs, reading all the books, hiring all the coaches. Why aren't you growing? My guess is something isn't working. You're either, I just talked to someone the other day, and straight up, after reading all their things, I had a feeling that they didn't actually have a viable business idea. I could see that their market was telling them that their service was not needed because they weren't buying it, because they were going around and finding other ways of doing it. So really make sure that you are addressing the right problem and make sure that your business idea is viable, before you go and invest all this marketing and money and creating programs and creating a website, make sure that people actually want it first. Go out there and just talk about it and start working with people, even if it's for free. You guys, if it's in your first year of business, heck yeah, work for free. Give your stuff away. Get people using and giving you feedback on your offerings so that you know if they work and if they're viable and if they're wanted. The best way that you can find out if you're wanted is if people are not only getting results, but they're telling other people about what you're doing. So make sure that your offering is viable, it's wanted, it's needed, it's necessary, okay? Make sure you are addressing the right problem that your PPC has. Another place where I see people often fall down is they're not addressing the right problem. They think they know what it is, but they don't know their market enough. They don't understand their market enough to know what the real problem is. Make sure that you are talking to the right people, that you are saying the right things, all right? Make sure you're priced at a good place. Make sure that you have got a solid sales system. And if you are still thinking that you're on track with all those things and you're still not growing, okay, then there is something wrong that you're not seeing. And that's when it's time to bring in a business building expert, all right? Whether that is me, whether it's someone else that you get referred to, but make sure that if it's not working, in spite of all the hard work you're doing, you pull in someone that can help you figure out what's wrong fast. Again, one of the biggest reasons we're not succeeding in business is because we're not pulling in the experts who can actually help us figure out what's wrong fast enough. All right, so I will say that is kind of it for now. I've been seeing some likes coming through. I'm not seeing comments, so if you guys are making comments, I'm really sorry. I really can't see anything on this weird new platform. I love technology, but it drives me bananas when they change it and then everything is in different places. It makes it so hard. Okay, as I said, go and do my free training if you haven't yet, because I do take you through the 7 reasons that you're probably not growing, and then I give you actual fixes to deal with it. If you have not yet registered for this month's free workshop, go and do that. We're talking about how I don't know isn't an answer, and we're going to be tapping into your inner knowing so that you can start making really aligned and confident decisions when you do have the answer inside, but sometimes we're just afraid to say it. Now, the workshop format's a little bit different. You can go online right now and already watch the videos, already start working on the worksheet, and then when we meet live on the 25th, you're going to be able to join right in the conversation having done all the work. Before we go, I thought it'd be super fun to pull a card because you know I can't resist them. So I'm going to give you all a card to take with you into the rest of this week, and then I'm going to let you go to go do amazing, amazing work. All right, this is the card we pulled. All is well in my world. And here's what it says. Everything is working out for my highest good. Out of this situation, only good will come. I am safe. So there you go, you guys. As you head into this week, remember, yes, you need to know your market. Get to know your market. That is the number one thing that you need to do to succeed. If things aren't working, figure out where it's broken. Are you addressing the wrong problem? You're saying the wrong thing? You're talking to the wrong people? Figure out what's wrong. If you really can't figure it out, go and do my free training. You will love it. I'm not kidding when I say it's mind-blowing. And stop talking about what's reasonable. Say what you mean. And don't undervalue people who are here to give you really good services. You guys, that is it for me. Have an amazing rest of your week. I will see some of you tonight on our Brilliance to Business Mastermind. I'll see some of you tomorrow in the Academy. And otherwise, I'll see y'all for our next virtual office hours. All right. Bye, everybody.